open in Albany till when?
Saturday?
Oh, Friday.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the day I'm going.
That's right. It was a week from yesterday.
Okay, no cursing. Good with that? Yeah. Yeah, because you can't really tell what that is.
I can sit up straighter.
Hmm?
Slouching.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Good cut, yeah. Cut off just a piece of her. Oh, that's going to be cut off anyway. All right.
You want it in or out?
No, I want her. Well, it's funny. Her hair is funny. I mean, it's not funny. It's
Hey.
I don't take offense. Mine's under this.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
Roll.
Got it.
Rolling?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wait a minute. Heidi, what's the best thing about being a performer?
Well, the best thing about being a performer is it opens up a lot of opportunities for you to get to know yourself better through different characters and finding new pieces of yourself through that experience.
What do you enjoy best about Pokémon Live?
Thus far, what I've enjoyed about Pokémon is finding that innocence and youthfulness in myself again through the character of Misty, and experiencing and going back to being a 13-year-old and having to remember what that was like. It's kind of let that inner child out again in an odd sense.
How do you take a one-dimensional character and turn it into a three-dimensional character?
Take a one-dimensional character and turn it into a three-dimensional character. Well, you have parameters that you have to work in as far as what the audience is going to expect. But there is liberty to bring in your own personality as well. And with the way that the script is written, it's a show that it's not only geared towards the children who are familiar with Pokémon, it is geared towards the parents that are going to be bringing them or the older children that might come along. And I think that it's a show that everyone's going to enjoy, and because the script is written in that manner, it's allowed you some ability and opportunities to turn that one-dimensional character into a more lifelike being.
Do you have a favorite part of the show?
Well, favorite part of the show. I have to say I enjoy my song because it's the that's I just enjoy singing and actually like expressing emotion through that outlet, my voice. That's probably one of my, and You and Me and Pokemon is really exciting too. When all of the Pokemon come out, it's very exciting as well.
What's the hardest part of the show for you?
Getting into this wig is the hardest part of the show. That, and I'm not a dancer and I have to dance, so it took me a while to get used to. But keeping the energy up after. Oh.
Okay. What was the question? What's the hardest part? What's the hardest part of the show for you?
The hardest part of the show for me is getting into this wig because I have really long hair and I have to get it up under there. But it's probably on 4 show days or 3 show days, keeping the energy up is going to be, and keeping it fresh is going to be very difficult. I think that's going to be the most challenging thing for most of us.
How difficult is it to travel from city to city doing the show?
I've never toured before, so I don't know what traveling from city to city is going to be like. I'm sure it's not going to be very easy, and it's going to be tiresome, but it's also going to be exciting that I'm going to get to see parts of the country that I've never been to before.
Do you have a routine of maybe exercise or rest that you plan to keep yourself going?
A plan to keep myself going. I have started, like, especially since we've been in Trenton, I've been trying to work out in the morning and kind of get the juices flowing before I get to rehearsal. Sleeping, I haven't been doing a lot of, but I'm sure that will change because I do like my naps.
Good. Very good. Okay. Dominic, how did you get to become Ash Ketchum?
Well, I became Ash Ketchum through a series of auditions and a series of musical rehearsals where they heard me sing and they saw me read some scenes, and then I was cast, and then we started rehearsal. We began that process, and then I got fitted for these dandy costumes, and here I am, ready to go.
What's the best part of being a performer?
The best part about being a performer definitely has to be the audience reaction to what you're doing on stage, and the audience's energy that you feed off of as a performer. I think that's why most of us do what we do, because it's such a rush and an intense thrill that you get to do night after night.
What's your favorite part of this show?
My favorite part of Pokémon Live is, I think, the finale. I think the finale's great. It just kind of the whole show just kind of comes together, and you get to see all the characters at once, and all the Pokémon come out again, and it ends on a really high note, and I love doing that every night.
What's the hardest part of the show for you?
The hardest part of the show has to be dealing with all the pyro and explosives that they have coming at me, dodging them, getting the timing right with them. It also can be the most exciting part of the show for me at times too, but it's also the kind of the scariest part for me as well. But nonetheless, it's fun.
How difficult is doing a show like this for you?
This show's very difficult because the technical aspect of the show is huge, and I kind of fit into what is going on around me. It's not really, it's about Ash and Misty and Brock and Pikachu and their journey, but at the same time, there's set pieces moving in and out, there's huge Pokemon flying in, Pokemon battling, and we're kind of revolving around that as well. So getting the technical aspect of the show engrossed into the story is the most difficult part, I think.
Now, you brought up the quest. What is Ash's quest in this story?
Ash is on a quest for the coveted Diamond Badge, and Brock, Misty, Ash, and Pikachu set out in the beginning of the story to get that Diamond Badge. But as the story progresses, Ash learns about things involving his mother and the villain Giovanni, and he kind of has to come to terms with that. And I think there's also a budding relationship with him and his best friend Misty that is going on as well. So there's a lot going on, as well as Pokemon battles and great dancing and singing.
Good. That's okay. As director choreographer, what are your responsibilities?
My responsibilities are basically to spearhead the entire production. Everything comes through me and is answerable to me. It's also my responsibility to see that the production gets mounted in the best way I know how, and to coordinate all the different departments. I've been very, very fortunate on this that I have an amazing team, including Michael Hotop on sets, David Agris on lighting, Michael Slade wrote the book, Yvette Helene did the costumes and the incredible puppets. Beyond Imagination did an unbelievable job with these huge Pokemon. And I have a wonderful assistant named Tony Galdi who has been like my right arm through all this, because it's a very large amount of things to incorporate. We also have an amazing support team at Radio City, between Jeff Wild being the general manager and the producers Howard Collins and Michael Fuhr and Norman Grossfeld with 4 kids. So they've made my life actually a lot easier.
As choreographer, What does a choreographer do?
A choreographer comes up with the idea for a number and also stages the dance itself. It's not only about making the steps, but it's making the number into a unit which fits within the show, which hopefully progresses the plot and provides a great entertainment value and heightens the reality up another notch.
Now let's talk about taking it from the small screen to the big stage. What was that process?
That process was really quite interesting, and again, the Norman Grossfeld helped immensely from 4Kids Productions. We started with looking at the different elements of what happens on the children's show and in the animated version, and tried to think to ourselves, all right, how would a real person respond in this situation? And how can we make this into a character-driven vehicle, translating what is already existing in the animation and what other emotions might fit in there to make it a stage show. And that's how we approached it.
Now, we've talked to lighting and special effects and set design, and even though they all work separately, they have to keep getting together, and you're in charge, really, of all of these
Yes, I am.
departments. How do you coordinate them?
I'll tell you the truth, I truly trust my designers. I was fortunate enough to work with some really wonderful people in the theater, and the one thing that they taught me was really trust your designers, and I do trust them. I mean, their area of expertise is really high. My job is mainly to make sure that the overall vision of the show all syncs together and fits together. Their job is to make those individual units that I get to fit into the jigsaw puzzle as strong as possible. I truly trust my designers, so when we have a production meeting, I go down the list. All right, lights, where are we? Sets, where are we? Costumes, where are we? What's missing? What don't we have? What do we need? How can we do it? And then together with my production stage manager and the general manager, we try and make all those things happen within a unit, so that the next time that we go on stage, we're one step further along in the process. Again, I'm really fortunate for the design team I have, because they're all top-notch professionals who troubleshoot and keep us a step ahead of the game.
Now, by the time you went into casting, where were you at what point of the production were you when you went out to seek a cast?
It's always what's interesting. Because of the nature of theatrical ventures, you will generally have a good script that you're content with. You'll have a strong set design, and you'll have a strong costume design, and you'll have a picture in your mind. So when you go into casting, that's basically all you have. You go into casting and you start finding the next piece of the puzzle, which is the performers themselves. When they start coming in, that can drastically switch the whole flow of it, because you're bringing in what essentially is the most important element on the stage, which is the live performance. We were really, really fortunate in our casting process to find very, very hard-working, talented young actors who took a true care and a concern for Pokémon and for the characters they were portraying. So when they walked in the room, they'd done a lot of research, and it was very beneficial to me as a director to be able to put them up and know that they were already trying to sink into the same emotions and style of what is happening on the animated series.
So at this, I watched your cast, and they seem like an extended family.
I have a great family.
How much of that is your?
I'd like to think a lot. I mean, that I will take a little bit of credit for. I truly enjoy having a group of people around me that are working to the best of their ability and having a great time, and I drive them hard, but I think I treat everyone really fairly and with a lot of respect. I hardly ever yell. You can ask them all. And by the end of it, I mean, I just feel that you're going to get a lot more out of these people if everybody trusts each other. And in something like this, where I'm asking a principal to all of a sudden become an ensemble member and push a puppet army downstage because I need an extra body, these guys, because they are a family, totally work as an ensemble. And I don't see any other way that a production this large would be able to work.
Is there one part of the show you're particularly happy with?
I can't say one part. I'm really, really proud of what we've accomplished. And I really look forward to seeing how an audience responds. I think we've accomplished more than just a children's show, although it will appeal to every child. But I think that this show will appeal to 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, and parents. It was my intention to make this a truly family-oriented show and not something that only a child would enjoy. And I look forward to the opportunity of seeing that happen.
Now, when you look at your rehearsal process, you have an opening date. You're going to open.
Yes.
But you look at your cast. When do you know in your heart that they are ready to go on the stage?
I know it the last week in the rehearsal hall. Again, because of my mentors and the people that I worked with and the way I like to work, I like to have the last week to do full run-throughs in the hall. And if I can see that where we are in the hall is at a very, very strong place, when we start into text, I know that we're going to get back to that place. If I see that we have problems in the hall that last week, then I know we're going to have problems, even when we add all the elements. The elements are the adornment, and they carry it to yet another level. But if the skeleton is there, and the skeleton is strong, and the skeleton's good, I know we'll get back there. I'm absolutely confident.
You bring up a good point. How much rearranging have you had to do once you've gotten all of your elements here together?
Fortunately, again, I had a really good design team that provided me with really, really accurate scenic designs, and we laid them out very carefully. My production stage manager, Arturo Perazzi, laid them out very carefully in the room, and I followed them, and I believed the guys. I didn't think, oh, well, this isn't going to be here. No, it's there, we're going to respect it, and it's going to be there. So it's actually been very minimal. The adjustment to the stage has been very, very smooth transfer.
Beautiful.
What's the best part about being Jessie and James?
Well,
The best part,
about being Jessie
and James,
is being bad,
we get to be very bad, and
we get the cutest costumes.
we get the coolest costumes. And I think by far we have the coolest hair in Pokemon Live.
Yes, definitely.
I think so. But we get to, sort of do all the mischievous stuff.
Yes,
that,
we can get away with a lot.
We can.
Get to play around and
We just get to play. The best part about being Jessie and James is that we just get to play.
have a good time.
What's your favorite part of the show? Do you have a favorite part?
Oh gosh.
Well, my favorite part of the show, I think, is the song that we do in the first
Best of
act
Being the
together.
Worst?
Yeah, we have a tango together. That is my favorite part of the
Yeah.
show, I think.
I like the intro too, though.
The introduction, the first time we come out
First
on
time
stage.
we come out, the lighting
very
is
fun.
really cool when we come out.
Yeah,
for that.
yeah. But yeah.
Tell me about the tango. How much of that is Louis and how much of that is you?
Well,
Well, Louis gave us choreography,
yeah,
of
Louis
course.
gave us a choreography.
And then, when you're in rehearsal and
Stuff
things
happens.
happen.
Well, and Louis he's brilliant, totally brilliant
Yes.
choreographer, and especially with
He
tango
gave us a lot
stuff.
of comedic bits to try within the dance as well.
And we're actually doing legitimate tango stuff.
Yeah. What is
which
it called? The
surprising.
ocho?
The ocho.
It's a figure eight.
It's a figure eight
tango
back.
step.
Yeah, we go backwards. So he got in the legit stuff.
Right.
We had a friend of his, a choreographer that came in that was surprised when he got to the other day. He came in.
Yes.
This surprise that
We were actually
we were actually tangoing, but he let us. He kind of gave us. I think he allotted a certain amount of space for us to kind of.
play around.
Yeah, I think so.
Have our little antics.
What was the hardest thing for the two of you to do together?
The hardest thing in the show to do together.
Be quiet backstage.
Yeah, pretty much. Be quiet during rehearsals. Because every time we would like.
Every time they
Well-
give us a little quiet time or a little time away from
Bad.
rehearsal, that's when things start getting added.
It was pretty bad. Or they'd be trying to teach like Misty and Ash and Brock their new music. And if Lauren and I were in the room, they would ask us to leave because we would just sit there. We wouldn't intentionally do it, but we would like.
We just kind of giggle. And
We were giggling, and then they would start to
talking,
laugh, and then.
And we made them laugh.
So we had to learn most of our music alone. We couldn't be by anybody.
People are saying it's hard to tell now where the two of you stop.
Just James begin.
Live begins.
Well, that's probably pretty.
Well, every
right on.
character you play
Well, it's a little
has
bit
a
of
little bit of
yourself.
you. So
This just happens to have a lot of
us.
in it. I think.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. If you talk to other people in the cast, I don't know what they would.
Yeah, I wonder what they would say.
If they would say we're fairly close, but I don't know.
How hard has rehearsal been for you?
Not
It
hard
hasn't
at all,
been
actually.
Yeah. No, we were like. I mean.
How
when
long have we been doing it?
Since July
July 24th.
July 24th was our first day of rehearsal, and now we're here September 8th. And it's literally
Like, it just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
It's not, sometimes in rehearsal periods you would think, after you do it for a long time, you're just ready to get on stage because you don't want it to get stale, but for us, it's just like,
Well, yeah.
we get more of a chance to play and
I think we're definitely ready. We feel like we're ready for an audience and
Yeah.
kind of see how everything works with Pokemon Live and see if it, if it reads as well as we hope it does to the audience. But this has sort of been
it's been
sort of been like
very-
Pokemon camp.
Pokemon day camp.
Pokemon day camp. Because we just, we
Because
go
we get to
and
play with the razors.
we play around and play with the other kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a good time.
You go to Albany and then you'll put it in front of an audience for the first time.
Yeah.
How do you think that's going to be?
Oh, I think it'll be a blast.
That'd be a lot of fun.
I'm interested to see how the kids are going to react, actually.
Yeah, because I don't
Because a lot of our stuff, the audience is supposed to respond to what we're doing.
especially our whole opening thing.
Yeah, and we don't know how that's going to work. I'm sure it'll be fine, but
Yeah. Well, it'll be a little. I mean, I'm sure that'll take.
it'll be interesting. It'll keep us on our toes.
We'll totally keep us on our
Definitely.
toes.
And from there, go into the great stage.
Radio City.
Yeah.
6,000 people.
Looking forward to that?
Oh my
Or
God.
is it
Yeah.
a scary thought?
It's a little intimidating, a little bit.
A little bit. Arturo,
But
the
it's
stage manager,
exciting.
took us onto the stage at one point.
One day at rehearsal.
Yeah, but he tricked us. He didn't tell us exactly where we were going, and then he got us up to the back of the stage, and you turn this corner, and we were
All of a sudden,
All of a
we were
sudden, you
standing
just
on the
saw
stage.
everything, the whole house, and the seats just continue to go up. And that, I mean, to imagine that because they told us that our first weekend is sold out for the most part, I guess. And
Yeah.
to imagine that 6,000 people are sitting in those seats for every show we do is intimidating, but it's also it's very
Very
exciting.
exciting, yeah.
I mean, this is our, Lauren and I's sort of
New York debut.
New York State debut. So it's exciting that that's where it is,
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
Radio
people-
City.
That do what we do, performers, their whole lives dream of performing at Radio City, and
Yeah.
here we go, our first gig.
She's
So you've never toured before?
No.
I did a cruise ship
She did a cruise ship.
when I graduated from high school, but I haven't done a national tour of a show before.
What do you think that's going to be?
I think it's gonna be a
It'd be
blast.
fun. I think this is a really fun.
It's a really
very
good
fun
mix
group
of people.
It's a great group of people.
So
And this past week here too has been.
it's been smooth sailing
It's really been
the
smooth.
entire time.
As performers, what have you learned from this experience?
How to take chances.
Exactly.
Definitely. Trust yourself.
And yeah, don't be afraid to. Well, and especially with. I mean, I know we were fortunate with Louis because he was
Oh
so.
my gosh.
I mean, because it's
He was so open and
very giving.
very
as far as-
giving.
yeah, but we had a great opportunity to just. We would try new stuff, and he was very. I mean, and not everything that we made up is in the show. Because
There's lots that we scrapped.
there's a lot that might get slipped in later, but he let us go a lot, and he let us.
Well, and plus working with the writer too was
That was very
great.
helpful.
Because if something wasn't working, we could tweak it a little bit, and we had the
It was
writer's
okay,
approval.
and-
So
yeah.
Have you gone back since you've become Team Rocket and watched the cartoon together?
We've never watched. We saw
Well-
we watched the movie together. We
yeah.
went to the
but that was
premiere
before.
of the
Was
new
that before
movie.
rehearsal started?
Yeah, it was like
That's
a week
before
before
rehearsal
rehearsal
started.
started.
I haven't had time. Well, we haven't had time because the cartoon's on when we're in rehearsal and when
Yeah.
we're working.
Occasionally we'll catch it in the morning here, like before we come to rehearsal.
Oh, well, I don't catch it here. I'm not better early.
Sometimes you see it on TV, but
But they play it in rehearsal.
Yeah, they play it a lot
on
the big
on the
jumbo
Pokédexes?
screens.
but we don't get the sound.
Yeah, but we haven't. I don't know. We worked with the gentleman who does the voice of
Meowth.
Meowth
Addie.
on the cartoon. He came
Mhm.
in and did all of our voiceovers.
Oh, he was great.
For Meowth. So, and he said that the people who do the voices for the cartoon are gonna come see Pokemon live, and the two actors that play Jessie and James. So we were a little nervous because that was like
Because it's their
thing.
They created it.
Yeah.
And we're kind of recreating it again.
I
Sort
don't
of.
know. Yeah.
I mean, if the cartoon characters could look at you,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
do you think they would say, those are the people I want to play?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Yes. I think so. I hope
Sure.
so. I hope that's the.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. Thank you.
Thank you. See, we didn't get called out or anything.
Woo!
Perfect.
Perfect.